Students, welcome to webinar on Basics of Machine Learning, organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering, VSM College of Engineering. Let me introduce few minutes about our college. Late Sri Vandaveli Sachinamurthy, a great philanthropist and a renowned personality, founded VSM College in the year 1966. It is one of the illustrious institutions in the state with the number of UC and PG courses. Our college founder, former president and correspondent Sri Gondavelli Satyanarayana Murthy garu, popularly known as Raivaram Munsip garu, a political leader and a social reformer, and performed many activities to uplift the backward classes, and he is a source of strength to so many educationalists. To cherish his dreams and wishes of imparting technical education to the rural folk, the governing body of VSM College has established VSM College of Engineering in the year 2009. VSM College of Engineering, a co-educational, self-financed private engineering college affiliated to JNTU Kakinada and approved by ACTA New Delhi. At present, the college is offering BTech courses at undergraduate level: civil engineering, electrical and electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, electronics and communication engineering, and computer science engineering, with well-qualified, committed, and dedicated faculty, and is supported by hard-working technical and non-technical staff. The college also well-equipped laboratories with sophisticated equipment. VSM College of Engineering is now NAAC accredited. The VSM degree is NAAC accredited and has acquired CPE status and autonomous. Well, about this webinar, machine learning is the shining star of the moment. With every industry looking to apply AI in their domain, studying machine learning opens world of opportunities to develop cutting-edge machine learning applications in various verticals such as cybersecurity, image recognition, medicine, and face recognition. With several machine learning companies on the verge of hiring skilled ML engineers, it is becoming the brain behind the business intelligence. Behind this interest, students from various colleges like St. Mary's Women's College Guntur, St. Mary's Group of Institutions, Prakti Engineering College, BBC Group of Institutions, Kai Group of Institutions, Aditya Group of Institutions, Srinivasa College of Engineering, Vasavi College of Engineering, Tadepallipuram, Raghu Engineering College, Vizag, Vishnu Group of Institutions, Vijnan Jyoti Institute of Technology, Vasirati Venkatadri, and so on, etc. And students from our college also actively participating in the webinar. We welcome you all to the webinar on Basics of Machine Learning. Now I would like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Sandeep Ratnam from Ratnam and Ratnam Training, Kakinada, to introduce about Basics of Machine Learning and continue this session with different machine learning techniques used for real-time programming. I would like to thank our chairman and correspondent, Sri Merla Sivaram Prasad garu, Honorable Academic Director MSN Murthy garu, beloved Principal Dr. P. Venkateshwar, and beloved Principal in charge Dr. K. Balaji, and our Head of the Department CSE, Mr. M.V. Ramana, for cooperating this type of webinars and workshops and technical programs towards improvement of the people in technical education. And now I am handing the session to Mr. Sandeep to continue the session on Basics of Machine Learning. Welcome, Sandeep sir, and please hand over the session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So, can anyone Just let me know, is my voice audible? Just type in the chat window.
Audible, sir.
Is my voice audible? I'm just asking, can anyone let me know? Okay, fine. I'm getting a very good response. Yes, I guess my voice is audible. So let's continue with the session. So I just want to introduce myself. I'm Sandeep Ratnam, the founder and the managing director of Ratnam and Ratnam Training Zone. So today, as our COE introduced, I just want to explain few basic concepts of machine learning. So I will let you know the basic concepts of machine learning and how it works and what is the definition of machine learning. So how we are going to work with machine learning, what are some examples of machine learning, and so some real-time scenarios where we encounter the concepts of machine learning and different types of machine learning. So hopefully this will be a very useful session for the computer science students, because like the future of the computing and the future of data analytics is very good enough, and the machine learning concepts will be very helpful in doing a deeper business insights and also developing artificial intelligence coding. So hope like you will follow the session carefully, and also once I'm done with my session, I will share the presentation with you guys, so you can have a look into that. So if you have any doubts or if you have any concerns about this session, like if you can't uh, if you are not able to record, or if you have any other concerns, just please contact with the administrator of this meeting, and I will share the PPT also once I'm done with this machine learning concepts. So shall we wait, or are we waiting for some other students or the participants to join the room? Just text me, shall we start it or shall we wait for a couple of minutes?
No, sir. You can start. You can start your session.
Thank you. So I'm just stopping my video. So if you have any concerns about my voice or my audio, just let me know. Is that fine?
It's fine, sir. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. So I will share a PPT presentation. You try to note it down if you have enough material with you, like a book and pen, or finally, otherwise I will share this presentation to you guys. One second. Yeah. Is this presentation visible to everyone?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. So before looking into these slides, I'll just explain you in very generic terms what is machine learning and all. So uh, machine learning is a part of data analytics, data science, and also we can call it's a part of artificial intelligence also. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is the process or the way or a procedure or an algorithm or a technical scenario where a machine learn by itself. So we might have a lot of things about artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence here is basically, you might know what is artificial intelligence means. Naturally humans will develop their own intelligence, that is called we might call the natural intelligence. What humans have is called natural intelligence, but what the machines like the robots or some other machines like the pods which we see in our home, like Amazon Echo Apple iPods and all. See, these Apple HomePods and all, these will have artificial intelligence. So the first thing which comes into our mind about artificial intelligence is a robot. So you might seen a lot of movies, or you might seen a lot of cases or examples where robots are answering to the questions of humans, where robots are performing the tasks, some basic tasks like humans, where the robots can make intelligent decisions and all. So how those robots, I can call robot as a machine here. So how robots are actually performing these actions using their intelligence. So how a human, how a scientist, how a programmer is giving intelligence to that particular machine or the robot. So this entire process, where the machine learn by itself, is called machine learning. So machine learning is like any other programming. Like so you might have basic idea about the software programming, like C or C++ or Java, or database programming like SQL. Okay, but how this machine learning programming is different from the other normal programmings. I'll show you an example. Okay, here, see, I will explain you what is a conventional, I mean like a regular program. What is, let me explain basic difference between a conventional programming and a machine learning programming. So here everyone can see a basic computer here with the two input nodes and one output node. So one of my input node is input, which we are giving. The second one is the program, which we are doing. And the third one is output. Here, the input which I'm giving is 2 and 3, and the program which I'm performing is an addition, and the output is 5. See, this is what a simple a C or a Java program will do, right? So here the inputs, what I'm giving is 2 and 3, and I'm asking the computer or the program to add the inputs 2 and 3 and give me output 5. So this is a very normal conventional program, or the traditional way of doing a program. So in a very traditional way of doing programming, how we'll do this in Java? Let us take the case of a Java, which is you might have already know the concepts of Java. So here we'll give some int a equal to 2, int b equal to 3, and we'll write a program, say int c equal to a plus b, and we'll print the output like system.out.println c. So then we can see the output as 5. Then what is the difference between this program and a machine learning program? What exactly the machine learning will do?
Sandeep sir, your
Yeah,
voice is not audible now.
I'm just explaining. See, is this slide visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah. In the machine learning program, actually what we are doing is we are giving the input and output, and we are asking the machine to predict or guess what program might have run. Here I have given the inputs as 2 and 3 and output as 5. So obviously Now the machine will guess that then there is an addition program that might have run between the inputs 2 and 3. Similarly, if I give 2 and 3 and output as 6, the machine will guess like it is a multiplication program. So that's the difference between a conventional program and machine learning program. In the conventional programming, what we are doing is we are already giving the inputs and we are actually doing a operation or an addition here to get the output. But a machine learning program will, what it will do is it will predict the actual program or actual relationship between the inputs and outputs. I can call it as a relation between inputs and the outputs. Here, see, 2 and 3 are my inputs and 5 is my output. So the program or the machine learning program here, or the machine which have learned it now, is able to guess or predict or give me a answer that there is the program or the relationship between 2 and 3 must be addition to get the output as 5. So that is the difference between a machine learning program and a conventional programming. So I'm writing here some text. Is it visible? Sir, is this visible, sir, the text which I'm writing here?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you. See, the normal programming, in a normal programming, what we'll do is, this is the input. We'll declare some int a equal to 2, int b equal to 3, and we'll declare some other variable, say int c. And finally, what we'll do is c equal to a plus b. And finally, we'll give system dot out dot println will print C here. Okay, this is a traditional programming. What we are doing is we're taking two variables A and B and an output variable C, and we are actually defining the relationship or the operation to be performed between A and B, and we are storing the value into C. Then we are printing the output here. This is a normal programming. But what is machine learning? Machine learning, here what I have the inputs. I have the inputs as 2 and 3. Okay. And I have the output as 5. So machine learning will try to predict. Predict means guess. So our prediction, I need not to explain. I think I don't need to explain what is predict means. Predict means a guess or an evaluation. To a machine learning will try to predict or analyze. Yeah, someone raise your hand. Yes. Any issues? Yeah, okay. Shall I continue, or does anyone have an issue?
You can continue, sir. Continue.
Okay. See, then the machine learning will try to predict or analyze the relationship between 2 and 3. So can anyone tell me now what is the relation between 2 and 3 if the output is 5? Can anyone tell me?
Addition.
Yeah, it's obviously an addition, right? So suppose I have given inputs as 1 and 7. These are my inputs. Okay, these are my inputs. Now 7 is my output. So what could be the relation?
Multiplication, sir.
Are you sure it's multiplication?
Yes, sir.
What about 7 by 1? What
Sir,
about
it can be division also, sir.
yes, it can be a division also, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what about the other 7 power 1? What is 7? 7 power 1?
Explanation.
It's again 7, right?
Yes, sir.
So what about multiplication? Multiplication was your first answer. So it's 7 into 1. So these are the different scenarios or the different relationship that exist between 1 and 7 when the output is 7, right? So then your prediction is wrong here. What you have predicted, the first prediction you have given is multiplication, right? So, but again, what I told is let us take some more examples. Let us take more examples. Say, suppose it's 8 and 2. These are my inputs and my output is 4. 6 and 3. My output is 2. 7 and so can you tell me what will be the output of 12 and 6 then?
2.
Yes. So how can you predict it's 2?
Division method.
So division. So based on the number of inputs, see here I have given you 2 inputs or 2 records. I can say these two are first 2 lines are 2 records. So based on 8 and 2, you got 4, 6 and 3, you got 2. So now you are able to predict what is the relation between 12 and 6. So now you able to predict and give me the answer as 2 because 8 by 2 is 4, 6 by 3 is 2. And now you came to a conclusion or you gave me a accurate prediction that the operation or the relation between the input variables must be a division, and you gave me a prediction that output is 2. This is what exactly a machine learning programming will do. So a normal programming can't do this because here you have applied your intelligence. A normal programming, if we see a normal programming, you don't see any intelligence there. It will do the program as per the instructions we give. If we ask the program to multiply, it will multiply. If we ask the program to divide, it will divide. If we ask the program to give me a exponent, it will give an exponent. But here the machine learning program, based on the inputs, based on the data which we already have, suppose we have something 4 and 2, 2. So based on the number of data inputs, the machine learning program is now able to predict a relation between 8 and 2, 6 and 3, 4 and 2, and finally give me a prediction that 12 and 6 should be 2. So we always call this as a prediction. In machine learning, we don't have anything called answer. We won't give anything called output. We won't get any output. We'll get an accurate prediction. So that's the difference between normal programming and machine learning programming. Suppose if I give you only 8 and 2 as input with output as 4. And I ask you to perform 4 and 2. What would be the answer?
2.
How far you're confident that the answer is 2? So the participant who told me answer as 2, can you tell me what is the relation between 8 and 2?
Division, sir.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Is there any possible relation between 8 and 2 to get an answer 4? Can I try this one? 8 plus 2. What is 8 plus 2?
10, sir.
10, right? Minus 8 minus 2. What is the answer now? So 10 minus 6, right? Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
4. So what is the relation between 8 and 2? So it can't be a division exactly. So by seeing only one input, you fail to predict the relation between 8 and 2. Am I right or not? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So if similarly, if machine has limited input, it might not give an accurate prediction. So the input should be more and more for the machine to give you an accurate prediction. So based on this relation, then what is the relation between 4 and 2? Then it will be 4 plus 2.
4, sir.
4 minus 2.
4 minus 2.
So what will be the answer?
4, sir.
Minus 2, that equal to
4.
4. Okay. So now this is the answer which this is the actual relation which I have done between 8 and 2. So now you guys fail to predict the exact relation when I have given only one input. Suppose I have given more and more inputs. 12 and 6, 2. Okay. 14 and 7, 2. 28 and 14. What is the answer then?
2, sir.
Yeah, here you can say like the answer could be 2. Okay, because you have more inputs here to analyze. So you have 8 and 2 as 4. This is my first input or my first record. I can say is a record if it is a data set or if it is a data. Here, this is my second input. And this is my third input. So based on the number of inputs I'm giving, you guys are able to predict and give me an accurate relationship here, right? So similarly, the machine learning program also need more and more input to give you an accurate prediction. Suppose yesterday the temperature here is around 36 or 37. Can you predict and tell me what would be the temperature today and tomorrow? No. If you can see, the prediction will be done based on at least 7 to 10 days, 10 previous days. Okay. Similarly, that is also machine learning programming. Similarly, so what we have to understand here is a machine learning program need more and more input to give you an accurate prediction. So am I clear till this point? Is it clear or shall I repeat anything? So let's look into another example. Can anyone tell me what are some basic real-time examples you see of machine learning. So you might have known pretty well aware of the OTT platforms, right? So OTT platforms, you might have seen some recommendations. See, this is one of the example of machine learning. Okay. See, recently I have watched some movie in Netflix. Okay, say Malaysim, I have watched some Telugu movie. Okay, so based on the movie I have watched, when I try to watch another movie, when I try to switch on to my account, Netflix account, an OTT platform, it will show you recommendations. So based on, so how it is showing the recommendations, like you can see some other Telugu movies or some other Hollywood movies. So how it is showing the recommendations here, the Netflix, actually the Netflix or the Amazon Prime or Disney, whatever the OTT, they will use something called recommendation system. That programming is called recommendation system, where it will show you some recommendations based on your previous watch history. How they are showing the recommendation? Actually here, the machine learning programming will establish the relation between your watch history, your preferences, and your outcomes, and it will show you some recommendations. I will explain you another example of a recommendation system or a machine learning. Can you see this slide? An X-ray example. So here, this on the left side, you can see a normal X-ray. On the right side, you have some X-ray of a patient with some chronic diseases. Okay. See, similarly, this I can say X-ray as input and that particular disease as output. Similarly, if I give more and more X-rays, if I can feed the machine or if I can feed the machine learning program with thousands and thousands of X-rays, so it will then, what the machine learning program will do is it will try to predict what is the disease based on the X-ray you have given. Is it clear? How we have done with the numeric, we have seen the numeric examples, right? Like 2 and 3, 4 and 2, and so on. So based on the first input, you are unable to give me a exact prediction. But here, when I have supplied you more and more inputs, you are able to predict and give me the actual relationship or the actual output there. Similarly, the machine learning also will take more and more inputs, more and more X-ray inputs, and it will learn by itself. It will learn by itself, and it will predict that this particular X-ray has some problem, or it has some symptoms, or it has some health issues, and it will give predictions that like this particular X-ray shows that this there are some COPD changes, or there is some lung infection, or there is some pneumonia, or there is some COVID. Okay, so how the machine is doing is, actually we have to give more and more inputs to the machine, and later on the machine will, what it will do is it will learn by itself, and it will tell us the problem here. Okay, so that is one more example of machine learning. Can you see this slide? A woman here is trying, actually she went to purchase an item. Customer who bought this item also bought. The shopkeeper had given some recommendations to her. Okay. So actually this lady went to buy few apples and banana. Okay. Is everything okay there, or shall I go on a slow-mo? Can somebody acknowledge me? Is everything okay?
ఆ ఇంట్లో బాగుంది.
Okay, now let's look into another example of machine learning. Okay. You might have visited this Amazon. You might have seen Amazon app. So we use it for shopping, online e-commerce sort of thing. This Amazon is. So what we have is I'm trying to purchase a Cisco power bank here from Amazon.com. Okay. So when I'm trying to search for it and when I'm looking the features and all, okay. So Amazon will show me some recommendations. So this kind of recommendations. Okay. So similar MI power bank, some Cisco power bank with other capacity, some other power banks. So how this is able to show the recommendations here? Actually, what the machine learning program will do is it will get or it will gather all the data of the customers who purchased Cisco power bank and also who has searched for similar items, and it will try to establish a relation between the purchasing behavior of the customer and outcome, and it will give me some suggestions here. So these are all very simple and real-time machine learning algorithm examples which we see in our day-to-day life. Okay, so is everything clear till here, or shall I repeat any of the concepts? Can anyone tell me, is everything clear? Shall we continue, or you want?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you guys understand what is the basic definition of machine learning and how a machine learning program will work. So can anyone tell me how a machine learning program will work? Anyone? Anyone from the participants?
Based on the previous history, sir.
Yes, it works based on the previous history, and also it works based on the number of inputs the machine has taken or we supply. The way the machine learns by itself based on the number of inputs is called machine learning. Here the machine is learning by itself. So we call this entire thing as machine learning. Okay, so now we look into different types of machine learning examples or machine learning. So there are mainly two types. Okay, there are other types also. First of all, let me confine myself with two types for this session at least. One we call is supervised learning. Other one is unsupervised learning. Other one is unsupervised learning. So I will explain you what is the difference between a supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning means what we are having now is a supervised learning. Here I'm explaining you everything about machine learning. That means we have a supervisor or a trainer here. I am the trainer and you are the listeners here. Okay, I'm giving or I'm sharing some knowledge of related to the machine learning concepts, and you are trying to learn based on the inputs I'm giving. Okay, so this process is called supervised learning, or the way you get your knowledge from the books is also a supervised learning. Okay, if I ask you to refer particular textbook and particular chapter to get an idea of a particular topic, that is called supervised learning. But if I ask you to write an assignment of 10 to 15 pages on machine learning, that's only input I'm giving. Then, okay, that's the only input I'm giving. Then what you will do is you will go to your library, you will search some books about data sciences or machine learning, and you'll try to learn by yourself without any external inputs. That is called, I may call that as unsupervised learning. I will show you a classic example between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Yes, can you see this slide? On the left side, we have something called supervised learning, and on the right side, we have something called unsupervised learning. On the left side, what you have, I have, let me maximize this. Right. So on the left side, you have there are two ducks here, one rabbit and another some animal. Okay. Here you have something called label here. I have labeled the every input here. I have labeled the first bird as duck, second bird as duck, third one as not duck, and fourth one as not duck. So duck, duck, not duck, not duck. What the I am applying a supervised learning model here. Now the supervised learning model will develop a predictive model. What the predictive model will have, it will understand like the birds which have some similar features are called ducks, and an animal which doesn't belong to the family of duck is not duck, and another animal which does not have a feature similar to duck is not duck. Now when I have given the machine another image which is similar to duck. Now the predictive model will predict and give the output as duck. Here, first of all, I have given the input and output here, similar to like 2, 3, and 5, that example. Okay. So here the duck, I have labeled it as duck. Another duck, I have given another duck and labeled it as duck. And other animals, and I have labeled it as not duck. The supervised learning model will develop a predictive model, and this predictive model will classify. This is called classification. This process is called classification. It will classify the ducks as one particular set, and all that doesn't belong to the duck family as another particular set. Now the machine learning is ready to predict and give me the output if I give one input. So I have given the input as a duck. I have given input duck here, which is different from the previous two ducks, but still it will predict and tell me that this particular bird is a duck. Suppose if I give a dog here, what the predictive model will give me? The predictive model will give me the answer as not duck. Okay, so this is called supervised learning. Here clearly I'm telling that this is duck, this is duck, this is not duck, and this is not duck. Then the supervised learning process is able to predict and give me an output when I supplied another input. Okay, now then what is unsupervised learning? Here unsupervised learning, I'm not giving any inputs, or I'm not labeling the data here. I'm not labeling the data here. So I'm just providing inputs here. Okay. So I have provided 2, 3 ducks, one rabbit, and another animal here. Okay. So now what the unsupervised learning here will do is it will create clusters. Clustering means making a group. Okay. What it will do is it will make a first group, and it will take all the birds which have similar features. Okay. And this rabbit as another cluster. This particular animal as another cluster. Okay. Then Again, it will build a predictive model based on the inputs which it had from the clusters. So that's the difference between a supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In supervised learning, I have clearly mentioned or I have clearly given the data as duck, duck, not duck, not duck. And based on that, that means I have supervised the inputs, or I have trained the inputs here, that a bird with some beak or feather, or maybe its height and weight. So we call that as a duck. And rest of the animals or birds which doesn't have these features are not ducks. So based on that supervised learning algorithm or the classification I have done here, it is able to predict. But in unsupervised learning, I haven't provided any input. I just provided only images. So now the clustering algorithm is applied by the unsupervised learning mechanism, and it is able to cluster or make a group of similar things or similar birds into one cluster, similar animals as one cluster. So here there is a brown rabbit. Suppose if I give a white rabbit or black rabbit or some other color, it will make all the rabbits as one cluster and all the other animals as another cluster. So based on the features, I'm not giving any inputs here. The machine is trying to make clusters or trying to make a group of similar objects with similar characteristics. Okay, so this is called unsupervised learning. Okay, I will show you another example of a supervised learning. Spam. You might know, you might have about, so frequently every day we'll check our emails, right? So in the emails, we'll find some folder called spam. Spam. So this is something called spam. Here I have given the label as spam. So I will show you an example of it. Wait. In your email, open your email accounts. Just check it now itself. I will show you what is spam and what is not spam. So you might have seen a folder called spam folder. Okay. So all the spam mails are pushed into a spam folder. So this is an example of spam folder where I can see emails from spam, different users. So spam means it's a kind of cheating or it's a kind of threat which we have. Okay. So now Google is able to move all the spam emails into spam without our knowledge or without our decision. The Google itself is taking a decision and moving all the spam emails into spam folder. So how it is able to do that? It is actually applying a classification. So what kind of classification? See here. First of all, it will check the email. If it belongs to spam, it will, if the answer is yes, it will push the email into spam. If the answer is no, it will push the email into our inbox. Okay. So we can check this. Suppose it is trying to predict. It is building a predictive model based on the email content, based on the email sender, based on the email subject and all. Okay. In sometimes the prediction might go wrong, and the actual email, if I send you an email with a large bulk attachment, the Google or some other email engine, whatever it may be, it will treat that as a spam and it will move to spam folder. But we can make that spam, we can go to spam and we can check whether it is a normal email or spam email. and we can make a decision. Here, actually, we should apply our human intelligence and move that spam to, we can mark that as not spam, and we can move that to inbox. Or sometimes the spam emails will appear in inbox, and suppose 10,000 users in a day got an email in their inbox which is actually spam, and everyone mark, okay, suppose you got an email from xyz.com. Okay, suppose similar email is sent to 10,000 or 20,000 users in the same day, and everyone marked that xyz.com is a spam and moved that to spam folder. The next day, when suppose if I get the same email from xyz.com, the Google will predict that this particular email belongs to spam, and it will automatically push that mail into spam. So it is classifying whether the mail is spam or not. So this is another example of machine learning which we see in our day-to-day life. Okay, so that is called classification. So in supervised learning, they're actually, so as I told, supervised learning means we'll give the input and we'll label the input, like what we said, like it's a spam, or it's a duck, or it's an animal, or it's not an animal. We have two types of supervised learning, which is called classification. Another one is regression. Similarly, in unsupervised learning, we have also like something called linear regression, logistic regression kind of algorithms. See, in this slide, I will show you some popular machine learning algorithms, so which we will use regularly. So these are the two types of unsupervised learning. So there are two types of unsupervised learning. Like what one is clustering, another one is association. Clustering example I have already shown. So I haven't given any label to the data, but the program is able to make a cluster or make a group of similar objects or similar animals or similar birds. Okay, I will explain you what is a association also. Association is nothing but like it's a process of finding a relationship. Okay. Linear regression, logistic regression, SVM, we call that as support vector machines, KNN, K nearest neighbors, random forest, decision trees. These are examples of supervised learning algorithms. So unsupervised learning algorithms, K means, a priori, C means. These are few examples of unsupervised learning. Right. So this is another classic example we can see of difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Okay. So forget about this reinforcement learning. I will try to explain in detail about reinforced learning maybe in the further sessions, because like we have limited time for this webinar. I will just try to focus on supervised learning and unsupervised learning. See, you can see an example. This particular boy is being supervised by his under the supervision of his trainer. So this is, we may call this entire scenario as supervised learning. Here there is some external supervision. That means the trainer is training him. In the unsupervised learning, you can see the boy is trying to learn by himself here. Okay. So here there is no supervision, or there is no trainer here. Okay. So this particular scenario, we can call this as unsupervised learning. And one more difference between the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Here we have in supervised learning, we have something called labeled data. Labeled data means the data will have something called label or input. We can say as an input. So here we have a cat here, and I have clearly labeled the cat image as cat, and I'm running a supervised learning algorithm. Now algorithm is trying to classify and give me the outputs as cat and dog. So what actually it is doing is it is trying to match the label and classifying it, the cat as cat and the dog as dog. Here in unsupervised learning, we don't have labeled data. The data is unlabeled. Okay, but based on the characteristics, it will make a group or a cluster, and it will give you the predictions. Okay, so that's the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. So we'll look into an example of labeled data and unlabeled data. So I have been telling what is a labeled data and what is an unlabeled data. Am I clear? Or you want me to explain the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning again? Can anyone tell me, is everything clear? Am I clear between in explaining the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning? Can anyone?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yeah, thank you. Now let's see the difference between actually how a labeled data and how a unlabeled data look. So here we have something called label, gender, and age. The label is healthy, gender is male, age 18. Again, I'm telling like healthy, female 29, healthy, female 34, healthy, male 21. So similarly, we have more and more, say some 50,000 records, and we have something called another label called sick, male, and age. Okay, so here everything is clearly given. I mean, like the data is clearly labeled. So unlabeled data, we don't have any label related to his health condition. I just have only age and gender. So here what the algorithm will do is it will try to make clusters, or it will try to establish the relationships between the inputs by itself. So it will here what are the possible clusters, or what are the possible groups that the algorithm can do? Can anyone tell me?
Based on age.
Yeah, based on age, say, yeah. And another thing, what can be the other group or another cluster?
Gender.
Yeah, gender. And also in age, we can make more and more clusters, right? Like if the age, we can make a cluster of age from 18 to 23 based on this data. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
All the patients, we can call this data as patient. Suppose we call this as patient data. We can make a cluster of age group between 18 to 23. And again, I can make from 24 to 65 as one cluster, and from 65 to 75 as one cluster, and above 75 as one cluster. So here are a group. Okay, so here unlabeled, we don't have something called healthy or not healthy, healthy or sick, which we already have with the label data. In label data, actually the label or the actual outcome to be predicted is clearly mentioned, but in unlabeled data, it's not mentioned. Only the raw data is given. Okay, so it will make clusters based on the input given, and it will try to make some predictions. Okay, so next thing is, let me explain what is a data set, because in machine learning or data sciences, wherever you see, you will be working with data sets. So you must have a basic idea of data sets first. So let's look into this concept. What is a data set? Data is of two types: structured data and unstructured data. So structured data is what we see regularly our Excel sheets, our comma separated values, CSVs, okay, or the tables which you might have worked in your databases, maybe in Oracle or MySQL. Okay, an employee table, a student table, or a patient table, okay, or a staff table. So everything is clear. Everything is clear in that, and you have a proper structure that is called structured data. The Word documents. So what about the unstructured data? The Word documents. Okay, the social media posts which we post on our Facebook or Twitter or Insta, whatever we post on them, okay, or the videos or the audio files, this kind of, or the images, this kind of data is called unstructured data. So one thing we have to remember is most of the data scientists or the machine learning programs will try to do will try to build their programs in most of the cases using unstructured data only. Okay. So I will explain you some important in terms of a data set. I will explain you what is an instance, what is a feature, what is a data type. You might have already known what is a data type. Like, see, data type means we have something called string or character or data or varchar. Okay, suppose employee ID is 23. Okay, so that data type here is integer. Employee name is, say, some Ram or Lakshman or some Jesus. Okay, here the data type is a character or a varchar. Okay, we have some date of, suppose if the date of joining, date of birth. Okay, so these kind are called dates. Okay, so this is called data type. You are already aware of this. What is an instance? We call instance means it's nothing but a single row of data. Suppose if you have an employee table, a complete employee record, one employee record or one row in the table, we call that as an instance in machine learning. Okay, we call that an instance in data set. So try to understand the difference between a data set and a database. Okay, we can call a data set is, which is called like, we can call data set is like a table. Okay, just try to imagine data set is a table with lot and more and lakhs or thousands of records. Okay, a normal table will have limited number of records, but data set might have thousands and thousands of records. Okay, the row in a data set is called an instance. Then what is called a column? Column is nothing but, we call the column as feature. Feature in data set. Feature of data sets are nothing but the columns. What is an instance? Instance is nothing but a row. Okay. So data sets, what in the machine learning programming, what we'll do is we'll try to create or we'll try to divide the entire. Suppose my data set have, suppose my data set have 20,000 records. I will try to divide the data set into two types. One is called training data set, another is called testing data set. So what is training data set and testing data set? Okay, so I have already given an example, or I have already shown an example about the training and testing data set. Let me do it again. Okay, so we have done one example, right? 4 and 2 is, okay, 6 and 3 is 2, 16 and 8, 2, 24 and 12. What is the output here?
2, sir.
2, right? So I can say this is my entire data set. My data set has 4 records. Actually, in machine learning or in the real-time data sets, we don't have only 4. We'll have thousands and thousands or hundreds, minimum hundreds of records. So this is my entire, if I say this is my entire data set, I can call this particular 3 records as my training data set. So the data, the records or the data, the part of data set which I'm using to train the machine is called training data set, and this particular thing is called testing data set. Okay, now I have called something called 48 and 24. Okay, these two records are testing because based on the knowledge gained from the training, I'm able to predict and I'm testing whether that prediction is correct or not. So this particular, the above three records are called training and the below two records are called testing. Okay, so similarly, data set will be classified into
Participant, please mute yourself. Don't try to unmute. Yes, sir. You can continue, sir.
here the data sets. What we will do is in machine learning, we'll try to split or we'll try to divide the data into two parts. One is called training data set. That means the data set which we feed into our machine to train our model, to train the machine is called training data set. And the testing means once the machine is able to build a predictive model, or once the machine is able to give me some predictions, I will test that predictions on some other rest of the data set and validate whether the accuracy of prediction is good enough or not. So that is called testing data set. Okay, so we'll see an example how a data set will look in. Okay, see here, this is a typical data set of a patient. So what is this particular entire row is called? Can anyone tell me what is a row is called?
Instance.
Yes, instance. What I call this operation year or nodes affected or patient age? Features, right? So here we have something called labeled data. So if I have a labeled data, what kind of machine learning algorithm we have to use? What kind of learning it is?
Supervisor learning.
Yes. If we have labeled data, then we should apply a supervised learning. So survival status is something called labeled data here. So based on the age, based on the operation year, based on the nodes detected, the survival status is 1. Based on the age, operation year, and nodes detected, the survival status is 1. So I have something called 27 records here. So if I give these 27 records to the machine as input for a training, okay. So again, if I give a new patient record based on his age, based on the operation year, based on the number of nodes or based on the diseases, okay, it will try to predict and give me the survival status, whether he survived or not survived. So this is an example of labeled data. So this is another example of a data set. This is how a data set will be. Okay, you need not worry about the rest of this slides. We will go into the advanced concept of machine learning. Let's discuss this later. What is the target? What is the feature? So are you clear with the concepts which we have done till now? So I have explained to you what is machine learning, what is the difference between a conventional program and a machine learning program, how the machine will learn by itself, what is prediction, and all. Right? So, do you have any doubts? Or do you want me to explain any concept again? Okay. So I will just try to conclude this session. Usually, the machine learning for machine learning programming, machine learning will include a lot of statistical programming to predict or to make the clusters and all. So you must have some basic idea of statistical programming. And also, we can write the programming of machine learning in Java or Python, okay, or R. Okay, in Java, we need to import some additional modules or additional packages for machine learning. Python and R are also, so these are the popular machine learning languages: Python, C++, Java, JavaScript, C Sharp, R, Julia, Go, TypeScript, Scala. These are different kinds of programming languages. We can use any of the programming languages to write a machine learning program. Okay, so these are the basics of machine learning. So before concluding this, I just want to you guys to just acknowledge me or clear me any doubts if you want me to explain anything in detail. Anyone? Is everything clear or you want me to explain it again?
Students, you can ask doubt. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Giving you last 5 minutes for your doubt session.
పన్నెండు
Anyway, right. Thank you, Rathan sir, for your spending valuable time with our students and the students from various colleges. Explaining clearly what is this machine learning, what are the different types of machine learning algorithms, why these algorithms will be used. We hope this webinar session will be used for students for choosing machine learning as their career and selecting machine learning as an elective subject in their education level and start their research on the machine learning from the student level onwards. Thank you so much, sir, once again for spending valuable time and spending most important things about the basics of machine learning.
Yeah, I thank everyone. I thank everyone for giving me this opportunity, and I'm ready to give you more advanced concepts if time permits. If something is possible like that, just let me know.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thank our management, President and Correspondent Sri Merla Sivaram Prasad Garu, and our Honorable Academic Director M.S.N. Murthy Garu, our beloved Principal Dr. P. Venkateshwar, our Principal in charge Dr. K. Balaji, and our Head of the Department CSC M.V. Ramana for providing this opportunity to conduct a beautiful webinar on basics of machine learning. And I hope this will be the very attractive and important session for the students who are going to have discussions upon or career upon machine learning. I would like to thank, last but not least, the participants from the various colleges from St. Mary's Women's College, St. Mary's College and Group, Prakti Engineering College, BBC, Vasari College of Engineering, Vishnu Group, Aditya Group, Srinivasa College of Engineering, Raghu Engineering College, Vigyan Institute of Technology, Vasareti Venkatadri, and other colleges, and from our VSM students also. I would like to thank especially for making this seminar very grand success. Thank you all. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you. Sandeep sir, you can hand out the session to me.
Okay, sir. I'm just disconnecting. Sir, can you tell me how to share a presentation? I mean, like this PPT here. Where is the option?
Yes, you can send it, sir. That's your comfortable.
Can I send you personally? One minute, sir. Let me send you personally. You can share with the participants.
Sir, please close the session, sir. I will talk to you later by phone.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Please hand out the admin domain.